Oh, and we're back, boy. We got a lot of good stuff to talk about. Destiny 2 Warmind, the Forsaken DLC, and E3's here. Keep it locked, because the next Hard Reset episode is coming at you right now. Hey everyone, it's Pushaman here, and this is episode 4 of Hard Reset. Today we're going to be talking about Destiny 2 and what I thought about the Warmind DLC, my thoughts on the new Forsaken DLC, and then we're going to wrap it up with some E3 predictions because E3 started already and I got a lot of stuff to cover. So let's have some fun and get right into it. Now, I know this is long overdue, but I got to talk about it because I've been enjoying my time with it, and it's a great step in the right direction, and you guessed it, that's the Warmind DLC for Destiny 2 that came out about 4 weeks ago. So from the last episode, I said that this DLC will not be game-changing, but a good step into bringing back the faith Destiny fans had in Bungie, and that holds steady. Not only did they deliver some great content with this DLC, but it makes me happy for the future because this DLC is leaps and bounds better than the Curse of Osiris, which was okay to say the least. But this DLC with Rasputin, oh boy, it was pretty nice. The rework of the exotic weapons, progression towards the new exotic weapons like the Polaris Lance, and of course my favorite gun, the Sleeper Simulant, all brought me back to my Destiny 1 days. That grind is what the game needed, and I'm glad they implemented it. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't hit on the new raid layer that brought some more lore and story progression about Cayde and what his plans are. And that's basically the war between him and the Red Legion and how we, the Guardians, are going to fit into the grand scheme of things. Now, I will say, I do like how they tangle it up with Emperor Cayde and the Red Legion. They're showing that we can actually help Cayde bring the Cabal back into glory. But will that really be a good thing for us? Because whether we wanted it or not, we are going to war with the Cabal. But no, seriously, like, is that really a good thing for us to help them? I don't know, but I guess we'll see, because maybe a good thing can come from it. Because with the Forsaken DLC, we're going to need all the help we can get. But I do have to say that the raid layer is very well done and super mechanical and technical. It has a lot of kinks and coordination of things that you have to kind of get down to figure out to get the hang of it. But once you do, it's really, really enjoyable. And the Spire Stars is kind of grindy and kind of challenging, just like how the Vault of Glass was in the very beginning. Not when they added another raid, but in the beginning. Man, that shit was so hard. But it was actually very enjoyable because it was challenging, and that's what the Spire Stars reminds me of. It's really good to see. Now on to the next part of the Warmind DLC, or Escalation Protocol, which is my favorite part of this DLC. Is really fun to play when you have enough people to do it and who are at the appropriate light level. Now, if you're not familiar with Escalation Protocol, it's basically the Horde mode public event on Mars that consists of 7 levels, and at the end of each level, there's a powerful boss that you have to beat, and you have to complete the event within the time frame. It's super fun. The only problem with it is finding a team of 6 to 9 and to be able to complete the event in its entirety, instead of having some sort of matchmaking where we have to use Anna Braid to kind of queue us up for a team. We don't have that. We have to either use LFG or message people who are in the same instance or area as you to get a team together, and that's very daunting and time consuming. It drives me nuts. But like I said, if Anna Bray has some sort of option where you can queue up for a team, that'll be so much more efficient, Bungie. And that's really been the problem with Destiny overall, I think. I mean, think about Nightfall. Think about raids. I mean, guided. They try to attempt with guided games, but guided games isn't the same. You get a random person, and hopefully that they know what they're doing and whatnot. You don't really have much choice. But I mean, just having matchmaking in Nightfall and now EP, or some sort of text chat feature in game for consoles, it'll make the game better overall for everyone. So to wrap it up, my recommendation for Warmind: Good story, good changes, and PvP has become a bit more bearable and viable because there's something to grind for now as well there. You have the Glory and Valor ranks, and then with your Glory ranks, you can get the Redrick's Claymore, which is a pulse rifle that has some pretty neat perks, and it's pretty good from what I've seen. I haven't gotten it myself yet because every time I try to go into competitive and try to go on the streak, I end up doing the opposite and starting right back from zero. Womp, womp. So, I haven't gotten it yet, but soon enough I probably will. But the rate layer is challenging and fun for endgame. Escalation Protocol is fun for endgame as well. This DLC gets a thumbs up from me. So if you've been thinking about it or on the fence about it, get it, because you can get up to the new light level if you haven't had any of the DLC like Curse of Osiris or this. Get this DLC because you can get up to level 30, you can get up to 385 light, and you don't have to have Curse of Osiris in order to do so. Now, I will say you still be barred off with some of the things as far as doing Nightfall and Heroic Strikes. Heroic Strikes have been added up to 350 now, and sometimes 360. So it's a benefit overall for everyone. So I would say get it. Now to move on to the next part of our discussion, and that is the Forsaken DLC coming out in September. And let me tell you, I am excited for the future because of the moves that Bungie made. One of those moves is bringing on Vicarious Visions, which is another game studio, on board to help them with D2. Now, they are the ones who are responsible for the Spire Stars raid layer. So you can expect the Dreaming City raid to be very, very challenging. So here's a little bit about what we know so far about the content that's coming out in September. We're heading back to the Reef because Cayde's little stash of baddies have officially broken out. So the Prison of Elders, they're all running amok now, and the Forsaken, who is the new enemies, they're out. That's who we're going against, and they look to be some pretty badasses. You have an all sniper enemy, a boss. You may have an all melee boss, and it seems like they use abilities to help to go with their fighting type to kind of boost them and make them challenging. Now, we kind of know that this was going to come because in the ending of Destiny 2, where the light touches from the Traveler, we saw remnants of the Reef. So we kind of figured that we was going to come back here. And some other things that we're kind of speculating is that we might be going to Saturn and maybe some other place like this. No, it was just darkness, this unknown space. So we're kind of figuring that, but we know that we were going back to the Reef. Now they finally showed why we're going back to the Reef, and here it is.
A lonesome star in a bitter sky. I hear the hungry ghosts calling out in the night. Just a couple victims of this brutal prize. Am I strong enough to let things just die? A spark alive, but if there's nothing on the other side, why can't I leave well enough?
When I tell you I cannot wait to hunt this man down, oh my gosh. Prince Uldren betrays us, I guess because we weren't there to protect his sister. But at the same time, he didn't like us anyway, so we kind of figured it was going to happen. But he's the reason why. He's the reason why all the elders broke out. And I'm figuring that's why we're going back to the reef as well. We're going to push him into a corner so much, and that the raid will be us hunting him, which I will love to see. But man, is Cayde really gone? That's the question I got for you guys today on this episode. Is Cayde really gone? Bungie confirmed it. His ghost doesn't seem to be there. It looks like they killed his ghost too, and you know you need your ghost in order to come back. Is our boy really gone, or is he going to become Cayde 7? That's the question I got for you guys. Comment down below. Not only does this have me excited for September, but also what they're doing with the subclasses, with the new game mode that they're bringing out, and the new area that we're going to be in on the reef. To hit on the topic of supers, within some of the subclasses across our characters, we're getting some reworked supers and also some brand new ones. For hunters, they're basically getting Blade Dancer but Void, and their little quirk is that while in their super, your melee attacks start off slow, but as you hit, you become faster and turn into this whirlwind of fury and it just absolutely destroys. For warlocks in the arc tree, they're getting a giant energy beam that looks like a Kamehameha super. It's effing crazy. It looks like it can be done while airborne as well, but it'll be interesting to see if you can aim with it while levitating. Now that will be awesome. And what we saw at E3, there's another super being added in the solar tree where you can stab the Dawn Blade into the ground and your allies near it receive health and a boost in damage if I'm not mistaken. The blade goes away if it's either destroyed or the time runs out for the super, of course. Now this will be great for raids and the new game mode Gambit, which we'll talk about a little bit later. One thing I want to know is, are we still allowed to use the Rift while we're in the subtree? And if so, does that damage stack? Having the Empowering Rift on with this super will mean big boy damage, and it can melt damn near anything. As far as the range of the super, it seems to be as far as a Night Stalker super now. I would like to think that it still acts as a tether to show that you're still in the effects of it. And it's good to see that warlocks are kind of taking on more of a healing role, and with this super coming, it makes it easier to be that supporter and damage dealer within their fire team. For Titans, Death from Above is back in the arc tree where they do like the Superman lunge into the ground. This was in D1 as a reiteration for one of the supers, for the Ground Slam super, but it looks like it's going to be its own type of super now. For Void, the Ward of Dawn is its own standalone super now, which I am excited about. And for Solar, instead of throwing hammers, we'll be able to run around and wield a giant ass hammer and bonk people around with it. Now, the bubble coming back is a very good thing because I am a Titan main, and in D1 that's all I use with the Helm of Satan to blind enemies who enter into my realm. Welcome to my realm. In D2, the bubble wasn't worth using, and it was not strong as like it was in the first one. Now with it having its own subtree, it may be relevant once again and used more often. I know I'll be using it more often for sure. Now I'm all over wielding a giant ass hammer and running around like a maniac with it, but I'm worried about one major setback specifically with Titans, and that's mobility. I would love it if we receive some type of speed boost to be able to chase down enemies, primarily in PvP, but also being able to clear out a room or level in Escalation Protocol in PvE. I even think that perks that say for this super, every melee hit or kill would extend its duration would be super beneficial for this subtree, but I think speed will matter more so than the super duration. With the new supers coming, this will definitely change the landscape of Destiny 2 because I expect to see a lot of different combinations and tactics, and seeing what kind of mixes of super outputs the most damage and which super negates the others, such as the Void Bomb trumping damn near everything. All I'm hoping for is that Titans get some love with the exotic armor and perks, because we have been just sitting here, locked away, stowed away in a dark little corner, waiting for our time to shine. Hopefully, it's soon. So, last but certainly not least, I gotta talk about the game mode Gambit, the new PvEVP mode. Say that twice fast. Coming, and also the changes that they're adding, such as being able to equip any type of weapon in any slot. And of course, they're bringing bows, baby. Yes, bows are coming to Destiny. I actually didn't think it would work in the game, but I'm happy to say that I am wrong. Alright, so Gambit. I was waiting for a game mode like this to come to Destiny. It looks great, and I'm sure it's a fun game mode that adds that spice of life that Destiny needed. From the gameplay that they've shown at E3 and the feedback for some of the peeps that went to the summit, they say it's a great mode and can't wait for it to hit. That makes me very optimistic because we all know that this type of mode can work in Destiny, and I'm glad it's finally coming. To give a little insight about what Gambit is basically two teams going against each other to clear out levels and completing objectives. The teams can send blockers or mini bosses to the other side to hinder their progress. You can also send one person from your team to the other side to really wreck them and really hinder them, which adds a bit of unknown excitement for the mode. Now, this whole new game mode adds a little bit of competitive in the sandbox arena, and it's great to see that it's being well received amongst the community. I know that they have it at E3 and will also have it at GuardianCon in Tampa, Florida, so if you're going to it, make sure to check it out. So Bungie heard the community and brought back the original loadout, but they went and upped the ante on us by giving us the freedom to put whatever we want in any slot. You want to run a shotgun in all 3 slots? Go ahead. You want to run a fusion rifle, hand cannon, and a sniper? Go ahead. You want to equip the sleeper simulant, Ikelo Shotty, and a bow? You can do that. Now, this whole bow thing coming has me all hyped because it's reminding me of Warframe. I used a lens in that game, and now I'll be able to use a bow in D2. Man, that's awesome. Now, they have a charge up time on them as well, which makes for some good burst damage, and you can really wreck with it. I'm just thinking about PvP, period. And having the freedom to run whatever you want is going to change Destiny big time. But there are some caveats that I'm concerned about. The first one is the ammo economy. They're going to regulate this by having the ammo shared across the board. So if you want to run all shotguns, just know that the ammo will be shared amongst all of them. I'm still weary as to how this will work though, because doesn't that make the different ammo types obsolete now? Or would they boost the amount of ammo you receive from a drop or have it drop more frequently? There isn't a definitive answer for this, so let me know what you think they'll do down in the comments below. I'm interested to hear what you got to say. Another concern is, are they going to boost the damage output of primary weapons? Now we know their time to kill is longer than the special or power weapons. With the free loadout happening and the potential to have 3 different primaries equipped, is Bungie going to boost the power so they may be viable going into this new gun environment? As much as I like the Mida Multi-Tool, Better Devils, or the Crimson, they won't stack up against, as far as damage concerned, to the special weapons now or in the future that comes out. I'm just going to call it right now. Bows and shotties are going to be meta in the Crucible, and probably PvE as well. If they have the same range effectiveness as snipers, wow, that goes to show how excited I am about it. If they have the same range effectiveness as snipers, bows will be very viable, and if they make some that you can imbue some abilities in them, whoo boy, that will make for some fresh new fun now, wouldn't it? Let me know what you'll like to see or what loadouts you'll be running in September down in the comments below. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just letting you know right now, I cannot wait for September to come around and for this DLC to drop. I think this was a smart move by Bungie because now that their audience is larger and hopefully used to playing Destiny, now they're giving us the real goodies to enjoy. Or this could have been the reaction of the displeasure of the community showed, and they're singing a different tune to bring back their core players. It's not to say that D2 was a bad game, but it definitely needed more. Forsaken is that more we've been waiting for. And yes, we all know that Bungie hasn't had a very good track record with the past DLCs, but like the Taken King changed the first Destiny, and I think Forsaken will be that next DLC that changes the game for us and brings it back into a positive direction. Bungie's still in the doghouse with us for now, but let's just try to be a bit optimistic and give them the benefit of doubt at least one more time, because I actually like what I see with this DLC coming. They've built themselves some strong opportunities that they can capitalize on, just like the Savathun story, Zol with the Warm Gods. We can see Ear and all the others come soon. So they've built something good here. Let's just hope that they really capitalize it and execute the main key. Execute it so that way it's very well done and very well received at that. My hope is that the Dreaming City endgame activity or endgame destination actually has a lot of stuff for us to do, and we can actually go into a raid through it. So that's a pretty cool thing, but I want more than that. Give me some fun stuff to do. Give me something that brings back the passion that I had in the first Destiny. Like I said, Warmind kind of pushed it in the right direction and brought some of that nostalgic back, but Forsaken needs to be the one that steps it up immensely, and I think it does. So to wrap things up, we're getting more lore because we're going to the Forsaken homeworld, Dreaming City, and on the hunt for Ogryn. We're getting a new weapon and a new mode and more endgame activities. Forsaken seems to be the DLC that will deliver. And how can I forget one more important update? Ladies and gentlemen, we're getting mass shader deletions. I mean, that right there is worth it to me because I have over 300 of that ugly ass EDZ camo shader that I'm never going to use, and I refuse to delete them one by one. So I'm just saying, this DLC is going to be awesome, and of course to top it all off, mass shader deletions. That's awesome. So let me know what else you want to see or hope to see from Forsaken down in the comment section below. I mean, you never know. You might just see it come. They gave me the sleeper simulant and I asked for it, so your dreams can come true too. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of Hard Reset. If you enjoyed the content and want to see more, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe for more discussions and goodies. Once again, I am Pushaman, and I'll catch you in the next video. Deuces.